The heroes, ever true to their titles, spotted a town's guard being stalked by wolves and aimed to rescue them. Making their way across a bridge in repair, Kruka narrowly avoided falling into the drink, but Gilda fell into the river as Aurori's curse punished her dangerous attempt to leap across the unstable boards. Tulok also took a dunk, and he and Gilda swam to the shore as Kruka stalled the wolves' hunt. Sadly, the heroes did not make it in time to save the guard as they were torn apart by a dire wolf. Slaying the wolves offered little sense of victory, but at least they wouldn't be killing any more innocents. The heroes headed to Turtle Manor, where lights and sounds still lingered from its interior, dealing with the frustrating snootiness of the noble aristocracy. They could not convince the haughty magnate of Turtle Lumber that dangerous things were happening in the night. They did, however, convince him to quiet down and turn the lights out, if only to save face in front of his guests. Opting to make sure the Dawnflower Library is faring well, the heroes headed there. On the way, they spotted a dead townsfolk and an equally dead wolf outside the Rowdy Rockfish. Checking in on Brelda and Lasta, they were told a story of the wolf attacking. Realizing things in the night were amiss, Brelda and Lasta locked themselves in to be safe. Back to lurking through the town, a member of the Osprey Club called over the heroes, informing them of yet another sighting of an upright, two-legged wolf stalking in the night. Arriving at the library, the heroes found evidence of recently doused fires, and following the sounds of shouting and fighting, the heroes discovered librarians fending off wargs and hellhounds and protecting books from being burned. Victory became theirs, but at the loss of good people and untold knowledge.
I want to talk about American About for all the listeners that there's just
A boot.
I want to talk about alignment. A very
okay, buddy?
very hot topic.
Right? I hate having to pay for it every time you go in and get your tires changed.
No. I'm talking about yoga classes with your chakras. Scott, you got a joke? We all got one.
Nah, I'm good. I'm a serious guy.
See, that was kind of a joke. Good work. Yeah, the alignment. I just find alignment curious concept. A lot of people have a tentative relationship with it. A lot of people feel like it forces them to play a certain way. And I personally find it fun. I kind of enjoy it, and I actually enjoy how Pathfinder and particularly the Galarian setting uses it, because I can imagine it as like a sort of physical, like a weird metaphysical force. You know, that's kind of how they portray it. And the reason this comes to mind is because in the last 2 episodes, Lady Gilda has taken evil damage from the Yethhound and from the Hellhounds. And, you know, I kind of find it kind of fascinating how, you know, they deal evil damage, but evil damage only applies to a good creature. So 2 episodes ago, you might recall that Krucka did not take the evil damage from the Yeth Hound because Krucka is basically true neutral, which is a weird one to play, but I think it's pretty fun.
Krucka's not really a character so much as he is a freight train with an axe. Yeah, and a solid repertoire of quips.
Yeah. Well, he is very smart.
A quippy one.
Yeah, so I just thought, I just wonder what you guys thought, or if you guys have put much thought into it. I think one of the best videos I've ever watched on alignment is by Matthew Colville that James put me onto a long time ago when he was running the game series, about how alignment should be fluid. Like your alignment should reflect your actions, not the other way around, not guide them or dictate them. But there is something to say about that, say when it comes to Lady Gilda as a paladin, where you have a very strong restriction on your alignment. Not to say you can't change it, obviously you can. But where do you, James, sit with Lady Gilda on battling that sort of do I do or don't I, what feels right, and then where do you sit, Scott? Well, you're a little more freewheeling kind of character. You're like chaotic good, I believe, and then Duncan, you play the true neutral pretty good. I feel like Krucka is not here because of the good of destroying evil. And to me, it seems like Krucka is here because, this is going to affect his living space. And that won't do,
The alignment thing it's not something I've really thought a lot about, just out of having not played a ton of characters. But I think with Krucka, the true neutral, I've been able to just kind of like think of it as
I love that.
And a pragmatist in everything that he does, and I think that's kind of how to play a true neutral. So so and I think it helps, like it helps reinforce that character of kind of like obliviousness that's got little pearls of wisdom in there every now and then, where he's just taking these situations at face value as they come, kind of thing.
Neutral good.
Oh, neutral good. Okay, neutral good.
And he's very smart.
That makes sense, actually.
I find that when I pick my character, obviously it is, when you're picking your characters, when you pick your alignment, obviously. But like, I look at it as like part of the character when I decide what I'm going to play and how I'm going to play the character. But I like when it is fluid, and when the actions of your character, because of whatever adventure path you're on or whatever story you're telling, they might change. And I think that the fluidity should be there, because you shouldn't be like pigeonholed into that, but it should change with you. And I believe, Freeman, it was during our Starfinder campaign where Bones, who is my soldier,
your Skittermander soldier,
Skittermander soldier, grizzled old vet,
so good.
You changed his alliance because he executed a prisoner.
I absolutely shifted your alignment, and I loved that moment. I never forgot it. I was like, this is wicked. Like you have just done something pretty horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm never opposed to do that. I'm always watching and waiting for something like that. And that's why I love the differences alignment, especially in parties like this, where you role play it out and you differ, but you compromise, and then no one really seldom people try to push the envelope too far that forces an alignment change, but every once in a while it'll happen. And like, I don't think anyone should, I don't think the compromise is a bad thing when it comes to those. I think the role play is really cool and fun. And it's like, we have a bigger goal in mind, so we have to push forward and somehow meet halfway if we're going to succeed.
Yeah. And I just think that should be a part of the game. Like that, you shouldn't be stuck in one area. Like, you should always be pushing to play your character the way they think they should be played. Yeah. And alignment should be something that you can keep in mind, to follow that more as a guide to you, to remember, where you are in that moment, but that moment doesn't have to last forever and can be changed however you want.
And now's an appropriate time to give James the floor, because as much as that concept for it to be fluid and changeable is very important, Lady Gilda is the sort of character that has a lot more to lose should the shift happen.
Yeah, so I agree with you and Scott. And in the first D&D campaign I ever ran, we had a character show up who was lawful good and immediately rip the throat out of a creature. So I shifted him to the other end of the spectrum and made him evil good, because that's not the right way to introduce a lawful good character. Gilda is a complicated character on that front, because I don't think her alignment is what she focuses on. Like, I know she's a paladin and she has alignment restrictions, but it's not really her thing, you know? Like I said, she's very young. She's very new to the champion game, and I just don't think that's what she's been focusing on. And I imagine that before her injury, she was just a fighter.
I love the idea that she was effectively a fighter, but eventually retrained her abilities a bit.
Yeah,
to, like, forget some and add new.
Yeah. So like, her alignment never really factors into my mind as much as the tenets of Aurori do. The guiding principle behind the way I've been playing Gilda is, and this is going to sound like a joke, but I assure you it's not. It's a quote from National Treasure, who I believe is quoting the Constitution, and it's that those who have the ability to do something have the responsibility to act.
I mean, it's right up there with the Uncle Ben quote, right? Same idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I like this phrasing better.
Sure.
I mean, it's.
Well, let's get this race.
Was it the only thing that what's the Michael Caine one? The only thing for evil to thrive is for good men to do nothing, or some shit like that. It's all
from Batman or whatever.
Yeah, it's all sort of the same side of the same token, or multiple sides of the same token.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that. Like, it's like there's a sort of conviction there of action over inaction, and having an idea of why you act.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes from the champion class.
Mm-hmm. And what's funny is I think one of my favorite things, the conversations we had on air and particularly off air about the curse you now have from Aurori, is like there's a quote from the first Fable video game that I've never
love
forgotten.
those games.
And it was that, and you're basically hearing from the guild master on your like magical medallion that, every once in a while you enter a new area and they would say something, and they say, oh, nearby there's a shrine to such and such a god, and it says, but be warned, some gods can be fickle. And I never forgot that line, because I thought, wow, like wherever that applies, gods can be fickle. They do not, they have specific things in mind that does not make them the be all end all when it comes to scenarios like, where you have like pantheons and stuff. And that's why I was like, I kind of love the fact that you were cursed not through your own real loss of discipline, but because you took something that forced you to lose your control, and it was a retroactive mistake, and it wasn't conscious. You didn't mean to do it, but the god still punished you. Because to me, as a GM, gods are fickle, and they're selfish, even when they're, even one of their tenets is selflessness. Ultimately, they're selfish, in some capacity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Aurora is probably the least selfish of those gods, from having gained godhood from achieving physical and mental perfection.
Right.
But you're right. Sacrifice is.
Yeah, but like at what cost did he do that?
Right.
Probably not really helping others. Really, it's a self-improvement thing, right? So it is selfish.
No, he was a monk, and
Sure.
one of the edicts of Aurora is to help others perfect themselves.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
For the listeners, I always have Aurora's page pulled up. It's part of the button that I press to start recording. It's there's so much there that I need to know. I'm not going to remember it because I don't believe in gods, but
yeah.
Gods, so hot right now. Gods.
Anyway, I just thought it was. I think it's a fascinating concept. I love the fact that it's not just. I imagine these metaphysical forces surround you or don't, depending on how you live your life. And that's why evil damage affects a good person. Or it doesn't affect someone who isn't good. It's not really attracted in that direction. It's not being directed. It has nothing to oppose. And I find that just sort of fascinating on like a sort of unexplainable scientific sort of level. You know what I mean? And I think that's a really fun concept to me. And the fact that can change, like you can change your alignment and then not take certain types of damage because of it, just because of your intentions, because of your actions, because of your philosophy. And I think that's
it's
really neat.
it's fun that you're playing with it.
Mm.
So there's so many games out there where you just choose your class and that's it. You know, if I chose a rogue,
Yeah.
I'd be a rogue until, you know, I died or unless I broke my fingers or something like that. There are always ways to mess with players and classes, but this makes me actively involved in my class every session. Like I have to actively
That's
look
so
at
fun.
every part of my class.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that.
And I'm fully expecting Krucka to take a turn for the evil because he's thinking about going home and wearing socks with Crocs, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's evil. Might be chaotic though. Going against the grain. Everyone gets 17 HP back. And also everyone can have a hero point.
Thanks, Vandy.
Ooh.
We had some great quips and some great actions in the last fight and episode. So I want everyone to have a hero point. And yeah, 17 HP back as this big burst of positive healing energy shoots out from Vandy. And she sets right about checking out the downed bodies of her the one body of her library and the other one's disappeared in the warg's belly. That's, I can't believe I did that. That's fucked up. And, checking on the other librarian that was like definitely putting themselves at risk. And but you can feel the tension in the room. And Vandy is just like aghast at the situation and so appreciative of what you've done. And she says, gather around, friends. It appears I came here just at the right time. Most of, actually, I can confidently say, the majority, if not all, of the beasts that have invaded the library here have been dispatched. There might be a few other little things to take care of, small fires and such. So I'm going to set about making sure that is taken care of, if I may. But please... quickly inform me what's going on, and I hope that there's more you can do outside if there is more danger.
Vandy, we're making our rounds right now. Thus, we cannot stay long. The moon is high, and something has happened within the town. There are wolves of all sorts, dogs and hounds attacking. We need to continue because the damage is still being done outside.
And she looks up, and you can see like most of the rooms have like stained glass in them that help that illuminate the room in certain rooms in certain ways from the sun, and it's like much brighter in here than it ought to be, including even though there's torches lit. The moon is really kind of shining through. She's like, yes, I did notice the new moon, but I didn't think much of it until this situation. So there's more in town, is there? It seems like such a long time ago since we had this sort of ruckus. I will set about making sure the library is fine. Is there anything you need from me in the meantime? I must hurry.
Tulok looks at his companions.
Gilda could use another blast of that heals.
Yes. Not much left, but yes, I would say it's incredibly important. Here, hold still. Another 16.
Perfect.
And if you can waive my overdue library fee.
We've had this conversation, Krucka, and we will not do it again right now. I have one more of these castings left in my power, in my repertoire. But if you feel as though I should hold on to it for you, I will do so. But I may need to use it on some of the librarians. But it is your call.
I'm good. Are you guys
good.
okay?
I'm solid, yeah.
Okay.
She's offering if you need to come back for one, is what she means.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So you can tell her to go ahead and help the librarians now and
keep
spend
it
it,
warmed
or
up for us.
hold on to it in case you need it again.
We'll tell her to help the librarians, or Gilda will at least.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Very good.
How much do you know about curses, Miss Banderdash?
Other than that they are vile things, not a whole lot. I've occasionally in the past had to prepare myself with a remove curse power, but I have not had to do such a thing for a very long time.
All right, good to know. I've starting to think I lost a little bit of Aurora's favor, but we don't have time to look into that now. And she'll sheath the cooperative blade. And she'll actually give Vandy a little bit of a hug.
Yeah. Like, and she gives you one back. Like, you know, when you say that, she's a little bit shocked. You know, you feel like you fell out of favor with your god. Like, you know, that's a different kind of feel, you know? And so she gives you a real tender return on the hug, and kind of very under her breath. Lady, the curse of from one's god is, one might consider it a very different kind of curse. But yes, return to me when you can. You discuss this feeling you have and what can be done.
Yeah, her eyes start to water, and maybe she even sheds a little bit of a tear in the hug. She pulls herself together quickly and starts to make her way for the door. Like, this is such an emotional weight on her so far, and she's not ready to succumb to the weight of that yet.
Yeah.
Been a lot of deaths tonight, and if they stop moving forward, there's going to be more.
And as Gilda passes, Tulok just turns to Vandy and says, I believe the abomination vaults have started to take a little bit from all of us. But perhaps tonight we're earning some back. And he turns and follows.
And Vandy is just like a little bit dumbstruck at, like, you know, how fragile you all seem, but also persevering. And well, everyone but Krucka, who seems to not.
Krucka just gives her a high five on the way out.
Like a high five, but he hits it so hard, or the back of her hand hits herself in the face.
Hyper extends her elbow.
Yeah. She like shakes her head and turns and goes, right, so teamwork and all that. Chop, chop, let's go. Let's save the library. She tries to like pretend.
It does make the dream work.
And she just whips the one librarian left into shape, and they go about doing their best to make sure the library is okay. And you guys head out. Where do you head next?
Crook Snook, I guess.
Yep.
We've only got the 3 stops left, right?
Crook's Nook.
Crook's Fishery Market.
And Inglehold's Manor if you want.
You've been reading
Yeah.
from my chest tattoo.
The lights are off.
I'm not worried about it. Yeah. So much for
If they were in trouble,
Where is Inglehold Manor again?
Yeah, it's
It's way up there. Maybe we can do them last.
All right, so you head to the Crook's Nook, and as you make your way there, someone catches you from the shadows pretty quickly and steps out and says, "Yeah, right, this way, Master Tula, Lady Gilda." Go!
It's a wolf. Throws a hatchet.
And they guide you to. I mean, you know the way, but you know they kind of take the lead and escort you in their shadowy fashion. And Yasmra peeks out of the building. Oh, we have a decent Master Tulak and Lady Gilda. The nature man. Everything seems so smart.
Yin Yasbara.
Yes,
Ever
but of
consistent
course,
in
you
your
know, I like
accent.
to keep you on your toes and your heels and your tender hooks, as it were. What can I do for you?
Did you say tender hooks?
Tenter hooks.
Oh.
T. Don't question me. I'm getting into character.
In Yasmra, we talked to one of your men, and they mentioned that you had been putting out spies. What do you know of this night? Where's the damage worse?
That is a very good question. There's a lot of accounts here. At first, I did not take them very seriously, but there was enough that I thought maybe we should hold down the fort. Sent a little bit out. We heard reports of a little bit of a scuffle down at the Vankervales there, in their silly little bar, but seems it's taken care of. We did hear reports of some sort of upright humanoid wolf, which seems like a bit of a silly thing to me, but that was over by the markets, I believe. I've not seen much, but all of my men, usually quite on top of things, seem to be a bit on edge, constantly saying they're seeing eyes in the dark. Usually we're the eyes in the dark, and this is a little bit embarrassing that they are using their nerve.
I don't know if that is the case, Yasmura. It's worse out there than you think. I know you have eyes everywhere, but we should trust them tonight.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I trust my men, even if they get a little bit superstitious sometimes. We are here to hold down our fort and protect our livelihood. And that is that.
I would not call this superstition. This is regular stition.
As always with you, Kraka, I am whelmed. Not overwhelmed, not underwhelmed, just whelmed.
I am.
All right,
here
Tulok
to hear that.
takes the Wand of Quench and puts it in his pocket, withdraws the Wand of Magic Missile, and says, "Thank you for the information. I believe we are headed straight to the market now. I don't think we can waste any more time. A great evil is here."
Sure, whatever floats your boat.
And Tulok turns back to his companions and says, "An evil that we should have taken care of, but we'll take care of it now."
Or left alone. Kill this as a little smugly.
We left that fucker alone, didn't we?
Well,
we had the
said
chat
some
already.
shit too.
He said some shit to
Yeah.
him, and it triggered him.
I mean, get your shit
Yeah.
together, Wolfman. We barely said anything.
All right, you head to the market. And as you would expect this time of day, time of night.
It's only Tulok's stand that's been upturned.
Yeah.
Tarot cards everywhere.
They've turned. He lives in like a cart, like what's a
Caravan.
wagon? A caravan, thank you. It's on wheels, just flipped upside down, wheels spinning.
Yeah, just like perfectly upside down.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
if you
It's
open
on
the
blocks, all the wheels stolen.
if you open the door, all the furniture is purposely rearranged for the upside down though, so it still looks the same. It's like it's on the ceiling. You hit the market, and understandably, all of the stalls are shut for the night, and there is not a sound to be heard. However,
How does it look?
still as the night could be. You might think that you would occasionally see a light on in Kilino's house. He's known to not really partake in the rest of the town at night, although once in a while you would have seen him at the Rowdy Rockfish, possibly the Otara Fishery, but generally keeps to himself. But you don't see his light on, and you have not seen much evidence of his presence, certainly at the Rowdy Rockfish. Searching around, it's a pretty wide open area, probably a little bit nervous and haunting kind of spot this late at night. Something that's usually bustling and busy. It kind of punctuates the stillness of this weird night, and it is very starkly illuminated by the full moon and the clear sky. And as you're kind of rooting around, everyone give me a perception check.
Awful good spot for a showdown.
I feel like we're gonna stumble on Kilino's body, skinned like the Predator.
I
Look
can't
out for
wait
the
you to
telltale
run me a
shimmer.
game, James. So we go such different directions.
Yeah.
I want you to run a real dark game for me.
It would be really dark. That's the
what
problem.
I want that so bad.
Like there would need to be a consent form.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
You
That's what's
take a
gonna
step
happen.
out the
We
door.
gotta play
you're dead.
Morphborg.
Yes. Okay, what do you guys get?
25.
Oh, all right.
18.
Oh, so great.
14.
Krucka is like perceptive enough to like still smell the lingering, coffee and like good and food being served at this place. It's totally distracted, stomach grumbling, not really paying attention.
Oh, they're closed.
The gentle waft of day-old warm pretzels.
And then Tulok with his 18 is like, no, it's bagels. It's definitely bagels. But with your perception, Lady Gaga, you're still on point. You are honed in. You are ready for this. And you hear you hear a kerfuffle towards the next set of lights, which is the Otari fishery. There's absolutely some scuffling happening there.
Ignoring the pretzels, which are her favorite, as she makes her way towards the fish.
She wouldn't break into a closed stall, would she?
Kerfuffle makes
I'm
it
already
sound so
cursed. Fuck
cute.
it.
She could blame it on the wolves.
You blame it on the wolves.
Wolves love
Wolves
pretzels.
famously
You have
love
like
pretzels.
you break into a stall, you steal the bagels and then you die, and your dying breath you blame it on the wolves, and then your next character is an investigator comes in and is like, judging by the crumbs, I can guarantee you this was no wolf.
Put some crack on him.
The crumbs ladder.
Spread some Philadelphia cream cheese on him. We're done here.
We'll just go across the bridge, drop some cream cheese on one of the wolves, and call it a day.
Oh god. So you head towards the fishery, and as you get closer, you can hear there's like a bit of noise happening, not inside the building so much as possibly around the back of the building and along the pier and the dock that is next to the fishery. And as you round the corner, you can see that there's a few of the fishermen and sailors on the dock that are basically fighting off a few wolves, which is a very odd space to be fighting. The wolves normally would not get on such a territory or such a terrain, and you guys kind of beeline it towards this. I assume you beeline it towards this effort.
Gilda is like shouting and yelling, trying to get these wolves' attention.
Okay, and as you do,
here, Wolfie, Wolfie, Wolfie.
We're gonna roll initiative, and we're not going to do a proper combat here. We're gonna do a sort of interesting skill challenge, and because this is a really weird situation. There's a few sailors here and there, and the wolves. As you approach, like one of the wolves gets like tossed into the water, and then a sailor like falls over and like drops in the water themselves. And it kind of looks like this total hairy mess. It's like kind of gotten a little out of control, and it's just kind of pure chaos. And everyone roll me their initiative.
Was that your nickname in high school, by the way? Total hairy mess. 18. No, 28.
28. Okay. Kraka. All right, and Lady Gilda.
24.
Also a 28.
Oh, okay. Is it a roll off? What do we got? You got that Pilgrim's Token, but that's for your enemies, right?
No. Pilgrim's Token is
allies. Okay, so you go ahead of Tulok.
Nah,
That's
Yeah. I forgot I had that.
it. I did not. Wonderful. Okay, top of the round. You basically jump into the fray here, and there are wolves and there are fishermen all over the place, just struggling like it's some big weird bar brawl. And right behind you, out comes the clomp of Tamily Tanderville with her peg leg. What on earth is all the ruckus out here? Holy shite, there's wolves on the pier! And Lady Gilda, you are faced with a wolf that is about to lunge towards a nearby sailor right next to you. But also, there is a sailor in a dory boat just off the side of the pier next to you that's fending off a wolf that's fallen into the boat with a paddle, just like doing their best. What would you like to do with those two situations? I can give you suggestions, or you can just be creative.
Okay, so this is a skill challenge, right?
It sure is.
Are we using 40 skill challenge kind of rules?
I don't really know them, so not really. Unless you have
Okay.
unless there's something specific you were wondering about, I can confirm whether or not I was considering it.
I don't know how to.
Do you know how they kind of work? Could you give me a brief explanation?
So what I would do is choose a skill and make the roll and describe what she's doing.
Yeah.
And you would apply the bonuses behind the screen. And we're essentially trying to get more successes than failures.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yes and no. I'm kind of what I want to do here is give you a couple of challenges each time in front of you, and make you choose between them. So I'm gonna play something really loosey goosey with that idea. Yes, I want more successes, but I'm gonna be navigating through the results of what you do or whether or not you fail and what you don't do.
Okay, so here's what Gilda's gonna do. She's gonna get down on her haunches and like really put the power into her lower body.
Yeah.
Brace her shield with both hands and wait for that wolf to pounce.
Yeah.
And then she's going to hit it with her shield and try and knock it into another wolf.
Sick.
And into the water.
Okay, this is one of the options I had here was a shove action, which is basically the same idea.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, roll me an athletics check.
31.
Fuck yeah.
Nice.
You bat that thing like you are Jose Canseco. Which is a name I barely know, but
I'm
I just
very
happened to see a
surprised
meme
you
about
said
him
that.
the other day. I just happened to see a meme the other day. I was like, how do I know that guy?
I think it was on an episode of The Simpsons.
So funny. Amazing. Okay, so you have batted this thing into the water. But as a result, you have not defended the one in the dory boat below. I would like Tulak or Krucka to choose. One of you can choose whether or not you want to do something about the guy in the boat.
I can hop in here. Tulak is going to reach out with his mind towards the paddle on the dory boat and use it to slap the wolf using telekinetic projectile, hopefully hitting it into the water.
So you're like pull the paddle out of the guy's hands, kind of thing.
Yeah, if there's another one, like usually there's two.
Okay, sure, fair enough. I was imagining like him accidentally hitting the wolf, like not realizing he's like gonna do it, but it was actually you. Yeah, roll me a spell attack roll.
28.
Oh yeah, okay, amazing. Yeah, you managed to, however you want to do it, slap that dog in the face and knock it out of the boat. And the guy in the boat's like, Christ, what was that? Oh, no, I'd say not Christ. That doesn't exist in this world. Oh, Sarah! No, Gosra, what was that? Holy Jesus! And this yelp, and the dog goes flying. And next up is Tulak again. Tulak, you are faced with, you can see, now that you've done that, you turn and you can see that there's a wolf trying to pick an opponent. It looks like it's trying to maybe pick you, maybe pick Krucka, maybe pick a sailor. And it's like kind of just choosing its best target. You also see another sailor attempting to throw a fishing net onto a wolf. Which one do you want to interact with?
While he decides, dear listeners, because I had to look it up, a dory boat is different than a rowboat. It's essentially backwards and designed for rivers, whereas rowboats are designed
There you
for
go.
rivers.
It's got like a flat bottom. Yeah.
Tulak would like to cast Daze on the wolf that is trying to pick its target to further confuse it.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Will save from the wolf.
We'll save from the wolf. That is going to be an 11.
Okay, so that is critically failed. So it is stunned 1,
Okay.
and it also takes 18 points of damage.
Okay. So you managed to delay that. And we now have we still have the sailor with the fishing net. Lady Gilda or Krucka can interject now on that one if you'd like. It's just near you.
where
It's
is
theater
it?
of the mind. It's all happening in the big fray, so it's somewhere nearby. You basically everyone gets one
Okay.
action. You're basically spending all 3 actions to do whatever you need to do one thing. Kind of thing. Just use your imagination. They're just like winding up this net, like they're going to cast it over a fishing kind of hot spot, but they look like they're hesitating.
How far away is it from me?
It's all whatever it is. It's within reach.
Gilda will try and use her martial weapon expertise to try and explain.
Okay.
Like up and over. You got to get it up and over. That way it's properly tangled in.
Okay. Okay. Roll me a. Oh damn. Can you roll? Okay, roll me a D20 with a +10. as an aid. And Krucka, do you want to add to this at all?
28.
I'll allow you both to add to this at this point.
I guess Krucka, if he sees the net coming,
Like
Christ,
I
don't know.
can give you suggestions if you like. So you could try and aid. You
Yes.
could try to like catch the net on the other side to like help pin it down over the wolf.
yeah, aid the net. I was gonna say grab the wolf, but that just
Grab
puts you
the
in the way
gaff
of the
and pull out
net.
one of its legs.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd like to trip the wolf.
Now we're talking.
Trip.
Yeah, pull it the gaff. Roll me a athletics check. Okay,
14.
So you actually whiff the athletics check and trip. But because of Lady Gilda's 28, the net still lands on the wolf. It's just trying to struggle out of the net now. The net's not like totally around it, so it's still possibly a threat as it starts to like chomp down on the netting. Krucka, it is now your turn. And there is basically you can see a wolf running towards another sailor, but you look down and you can see that there's loose boards at your feet. You just whiff this and then you look down, you go, wait a second, that board leads to that wolf that's about to cross over it, and you can possibly do something with that board that's cartoonish. There's also a sailor that's panicking and throwing harpoons willy-nilly, because as you whiff this, a harpoon just barely passes past your face. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And there's a sailor that's totally panicking and just tossing harpoon after harpoon. What do you want to do with either the wolf and the rickety board or the sailor and the harpoons?
Okay, so I mean, maybe not able to do two birds with one stone, but he would like to bring the gaff down by the shaft, just like straight down onto the board, trying to like crack through the board.
You shall not pass.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah,
roll me
you
an
shall
unarmed,
not
roll me an
pass.
unarmed strike.
Blast.
There you go, listeners in our Discord.
Yeah.
A 30.
He did it.
It's way after the fact, but it's perfect. What'd you get? Sorry. Oh, perfect. Yeah,
30.
no, you like Wile E. Coyote this
And
thing. You just smash this board, seesaw it out. You hit this thing, and you basically hit it right between all four legs, and it just goes catapulting into the air and it's splashing into the water.
Don't forget to spake it.
Amazing. Tulok and Lady Gilda can now respond to the panicking, throwing harpoon sailor, if you like.
I'm going to use a diplomacy to try and talk him down.
Okay, sure.
Easy, easy. Either aim or put him away. It's a 14.
That's a
Put them away.
And the sailor just looks at you and goes, put him away! And it just drops the harpoons. It works, but not to the greatest effect. And then top of the order, Tamily rolls in and is like, good lord, what is going on out here? Sort this out, sailors. I didn't train with the grey corsairs for nothing. There we'll be given no quarter towards our enemies, no matter who they are, wolves on a pier or some such. And she's just like peg like dum 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 dum. And Lady Gilda, you turn at the sound of the words grey corsairs, and you see her peg leg is wrapped in yellow or gold and blue and a little bit of dark gray, and you're like, huh? And she rolls in, and she uses no quarter, her ability no quarter, to give everyone a +1, which is normally the attack checks, but fuck it, we're going in for the skill checks, or whatever you do here. You are amped up and ready to go. However, the downside is during all of this ridiculousness, Krucka didn't realize that his whiffed gaff trip actually catches Tamily by the peg leg and knocks her prone. She's slapping onto the pier.
Rude.
Oh, what on earth? And that brings us to Lady Gilda again. Lady Gilda, you are faced with a wolf that is like shaking off the daze that was given to it by Tulok.
Yeah.
And also a sailor that has slipped on the dock and fallen arse first into a chum barrel. Kind of stuck with his legs sticking out and unable to move. What would you like to do?
I'm not going to save Costello. So I've used my athletics and my martial weapon proficiency. Can she grab Kruka's turning hammer from his belt and like whip it at the dazed one?
Sure, why not? That's amazing. Roll me a range attack roll, or throw attack roll.
That's a 27.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
You Thor hammer, you Mjolnir this
She
wolf
really is
into the
Captain
water.
America.
Okay, cool. I wasn't using that.
Puts it back on its hook when it comes back.
Yeah. It's just like grab it, throw it, returns, put it back in the belt.
And then Cox and I at Tamily, not realizing she was a member of the Steel Falcons.
And exactly. And that brings us to Kruka or Tulok, who might want to deal with the sailor that's got their arse in the chum barrel.
Kruka would like to break the chum barrel with a ring of the ram.
Just takes his ass off.
Okay, so we found our Bud Abbott, is what you're saying.
So you just turn the ring to the barrel and just
Who's out
explode
first?
You explode.
We're all
the
chums
barrel,
here.
and just like chum and fish viscera just flies everywhere because everyone's so this guy just lands on his arse, just like, oh, me tailbone. And as he's like covered in fish tailbones, and he is effectively free from the chum barrel. That brings us to Tulok. I'm having so much fun with this. I don't know about you guys. Who is faced with a let's see here, a wolf that is about to just run straight past you towards another sailor, and also Tamily flat on her ass right next to you, just like sprawled out. Do you want to stop the wolf or help Tamily?
Tulok would like to trip the wolf into the water,
Okay.
but I don't want to go about it like the usual way of like
You don't want to
athletics
roll
trip.
athletics? Yeah.
No, I think
Yeah.
that like just like tripping someone in the schoolyard, you gotta be a little stealthy about it. So he's just gonna sneak out that leg at the perfect time to try to trip it in the water.
I'm kind of leaning towards this being still keeping your dex in mind. I'm leaning this towards being a reflex attempt reaction instead of stealth.
So you want me
It
to
could
make
be
a
deception as well.
He'd like to tie up those ankles like a book binding.
you silly bitch.
I would take deception like you're faking like you're not gonna do it, and then boom, leg comes out, and the wolf didn't see it coming.
Yeah, like Lucy and
Oof,
Charlie Brown.
That's a 19 on the die for a 31 deception.
Amazing, yeah. You trip the wolf, and it just
Nice.
it's like it's got four legs, they're hard to trip, but it does not see it coming. It just lands, claps its chin on the pier, which we all, I'm sure, can imagine. It's just like the worst thing to imagine, just when you hit your chin on something really hard. And it slides towards Tamily, who's like flat on her ass, and as it slides into her, she just pulls out her main ghost and just stabs it in the throat and just rolls it over into the water. And
Hell yeah.
it's the skill challenge done.
Woo!
Amazing. That was so
That was
much
fun.
And Tamily's just like, my God, that was out of nowhere. What the hell is happening here? We're just having a games night.
Grey Corsairs.
Your game.
What?
Grey Corsairs. How did this never come up before?
Oh, well, I just never taught to bring it up.
And Gilda cocks her eye to really try and read her. Because she's starting to think maybe she's not a Grey Corsair. Maybe she's one of the Twilight Talons.
Right. Yeah.
Tulok wants to roll a check because he has no idea what the fuck a Grey Corsair is. He might have learned, or Scott doesn't.
Yeah. You can roll me a society.
27.
Okay. Go ahead, James.
So there are two main branches of the Andoran army. The Eagle Knights, which Gilda is a member of. The Golden Legionnaires specifically, which are like the...
So technically the Eagle Knights...
The elites.
The Eagle Knights is like... has branches, is what it is. Eagle Knights is not one, but it's like the governing body of several.
So they're all Eagle Knights. So Gilda's a member of the Golden Legionnaires who protect the Andoran... who protect Andoran's internal borders. They act only in Andoran. The Steel Falcons are their external branch, and they act outside of Andoran. Of that branch, their naval fleet is the Grey Corsairs. But there's also rumors to be a third secret branch of the Andoran army, known as the Twilight Talons, and they're essentially just spies and like crafters and subterfuge.
And they operate without government admission, like they don't admit they exist.
They do a lot of sabotage and stuff like that.
Ooh.
So they came straight from Delta Green.
So Tamberly kind of shakes off your questioning and starts seeing to her fishermen and sailors and figuring out the situation. Even though she's brandishing the colors of the Eagle Knights and of Andoran on her peg leg, she kind of pretends, and I think you can see through it for sure that there's something there. But she seems like
even just in her actions, she would see the Steel Falcons. Like the Steel Falcons are fucking bold and badass, and they almost single-handedly freed the slave trade in Cheliax.
Like they are, they are all about spreading the ideals of Andoran and doing it through acts like destroying slave ships and slave trades, and they do it through example.
Cheliax.
Oh yeah, yeah, big time.
So I think Gilda's going to be looking for that Blue Falcon on Tamley from here on out. So, like all members of the Steel Falcons carry this little blue falcon talisman, very similar to Gilda's golden epaulets.
Copy that.
So it's kind of cool because the Golden Legion, she's a member of the Golden Legion, like de facto at this point or what have you. But like she is out of her jurisdiction as it sort of. For lack of a better
she wouldn't be as a Steel Falcon.
What? But you're a Golden Legion. You're not a Steel Falcon.
Yeah, Gilda is.
That's that's what I mean. Yeah. Like you are currently operating outside of what your normal duties would be, which is like a very uncommon thing. But in any case, gathering everything up, and Tamley's just kind of like, "Do you have something to explain? Like, why are you here? Did you come for games night and just find the fray with us? What's happening?"
Gilda's already speaking with her, so I think Tulok is watching.
Yeah, she'll stow her questions for the sake
probably
of
fishing
urgency.
some of the fishermen out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer Parcheesi.
There's been an attack on Otari, wolves from every direction, and rumors of one walking on two legs. And she'll send a sidelong glance to Tulok. We think it might be Jol.
Yeah, big old cocked eyebrow at that. Jol Messman?
The very same. We ran into him in the abomination vaults below the gauntlet. And we think he's walking around here, perhaps, trying to get... I don't want to say vengeance on Kilino, but he's already done some damage to the Lathanars. Why not finish the job?
With this, Tulok shoots a look at Gilda, because I think as much as he was willing to admit that, he thought it was Jol, he was... I don't think we mentioned before that we had seen him, did we?
You've said nothing to anybody.
What about the druids? Did we tell the druids or no?
On our way
Orla
back
went.
into Otari?
On your way back, you did, yeah.
Okay.
After this, it all started.
Tulok still shoots a look at Gilda for kind of like spreading that around a little bit, because he's a little embarrassed that they didn't do anything about it earlier.
And Gilda will like kind of wave him down and like gesture to the colors on her peg leg, and then she'll gesture like she'll explain later, because she now all of a sudden feels this real kinship and trust in Tamley that she didn't feel before.
And Krucka is oblivious to it all and is just showing open disgust towards the fish.
So Tamley just like, it's like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I find it a bit surprising. I wouldn't. I'm not ashamed to admit that I was among those who considered Joel to be dead. And she looks up into the sky, the full moon. That's a hell of a thing to claim. But then there are a few things in the world that actually drive a wolf to appear.
You haven't seen what we've seen tonight.
She looks down at the water and she says, look at that. And you could just this massive reflection of the full moon. I almost wonder if they're drawn to that, like it's within reach. Oh, you're sending shivers up me spine there, lads.
I mean, you said it.
We don't know, Tamley, what's... Nice.
Doesn't it look like just a big wheel of cheese that you could just grab a bite out of?
Oh, boy. Tulok says, we don't know where these animals have come from, where they've been gathering. There's so many different types, so many different horrible monsters down here. But they all have come for some reason, and under some banner together. They must have. There's no way this is coincidence. So we need to find the root of this evil and destroy it tonight.
Couldn't agree more. Well, clean up here. I can only assume that the guard has been spread out a little bit here, but given how quiet things have been, I'm sure they're trying to avoid panic. I'll do what I can to check on the citizens, the locals, make sure they're okay. We'll do it discreetly, though, mind, of course. Maybe I'll get over there and talk to Yen Asmara, tell her to act instead of sitting on her haunches like she usually does. You do what you have to do. We'll do the rest. And the sailors are kind of standing around like they're beefy boys, you know, if not used to combat. And they're like, yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, totally in agreement. We'll give no quarter.
So we didn't find much in the market.
No.
Okay, so we've been everywhere
deals.
except for Inkleholtz Manor.
Inkleholtz Manor, yeah.
And the
True.
graveyard. And the busted ass thirsty alpaca.
Oh yeah, the ruins of the thirsty alpaca.
Okay, so Tulok turns to them and says, we should head to the other manor and see what's there. I know Jawl's here. I feel it in my bones, but we haven't seen him yet. He must be here somewhere, and this must be him leading the attack.
You haven't seen Kilino
You have
either,
not.
right?
You only heard reports here and there of some humanoid wolf.
Do we know where Kalino lives?
He lives right by the market.
Oh, okay.
Tulok, do you know where Kilino might have gone? In a situation like
Honestly, I thought he would have been at the market to protect it. It's all he really seems to care about these days. But perhaps they met. Perhaps they're meeting where he thought he killed him, on the cliffs. Tulok would know, but Scott doesn't know which cliffs those are.
By the graveyard.
Yes, but I remember now. The cliffs by the graveyard. Perhaps they're there having another showdown.
And they've closed off the way from the Dawnflower, right? So we've got to go around?
No, they haven't. They've just been reinforcing the area in case of another attack. But nothing's been closed off. Because no one really understood why and how the attack happened. So they're not about to change. Like there's a tradition from the Acolytes in the Dawnflower to like not take the short path up the cliff, but do the whole loop around to maintain the graveyard. They continue to do that, but like the path up the cliff is also like a tourist attraction. So like they've not opted to shut anything down, but they've been very, very cautious and over security. like over securing the place.
Right. And then to the Inkelholtzes then. I don't think I've met him yet. And then to the graveyard? Up the cliffs or around Tulok? Which way do you reckon is faster?
Up the cliffs, I'd say.
It's sort of like an exhausting back and forth hike up the cliff, but it is definitely faster. All right, so you head to the Inkelholtz Manor, and as you approach, you see the lights are all off. You know, at least Tulok would know that Alamora Inkelholtz is another one of the business magnates in the lumber trade. And she is much friendlier than Rab Turtle. She owns the Whistledown Cutters lumber company and is a very successful, very shrewd businesswoman, and is also runs and maintains, or at least employs teachers in a educational services and a schoolroom and classroom within her own manor for children across Otari.
That's nice. So they head there, and when they arrive, Tulok again raps at the door.
You rap at the door, and this like secret little window next to the door you did not see opens, and you can see a face in it of her butler, who's like, "Oh, hello. Might I help you, Master Tulok?"
Is Alimora here?
Indeed, she is. What is this to do with?
I don't know if you noticed, but something is happening in town tonight. There's been many attacks. Wolves, dogs, beasts of all kind have been here. Have you seen anything?
Oh, yes, we are quite familiar. Just asking for safety reasons, making sure we're on the same page. Please do come in. And you hear this like, and the door like just like cracks open on its own, like slowly, like some secret like mechanism had locked it and unlocked it.
And Tulok steps inside.
You step in, and Alamora is like basically already waiting. She just steps around from her corner with this like wizened smile on her face. She's, "Hello, Master Tulok. It is good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're aware of some of the situation going around town. We've been holed up here for a bit now." And as she says this, you can hear the pitter-patter of small feet and a bit of a bunch of noise kind of happening behind her. She just turns, she's like, "Hush, hush, hush." And she turns, "I'm afraid most of the town's children are here. It seems a bit awkward, I know, but we've shut ourselves in for safety, as you can imagine."
Oh, there may be no better place for them then. I know that you'll keep a watchful eye on them. Do you know any more information that we have not yet delivered to you?
I'm afraid I don't. It seems the reason the children are here is we were planning an overnight field trip. We were going to go out and see some night blooming flowers. Something as a part of our botany classes, moonflowers, primrose of the evening and all that. But I'm afraid as soon as I heard some howls, I just trusted my instincts. And we went back in for a temporary moment. It wasn't long after that the guard had come by and said to stay within. So we've done just that. They didn't really say much why, but I got the feeling they were trying to avoid a panic.
Good. Well, your instincts were strong and correct. Keep the children inside, and you as well. Stay safe. We head up to the graveyard now. We're gonna see if we can find what has caused all this damage. Stay safe.
Kruk will say a little too loud, "Very wise, Mr. Tulok, that you didn't mention the wolves that could swallow the children whole."
Alamor just like out of nowhere just slaps you in the face.
Oh.
At the same time, Gilda steps out his
Oh,
foot.
I thought you were gonna retributive strike her.
Tulok elbows in the gut.
No. I think Gilda's like taken aback by this whole thing. She's she's very strong, very capable, very smart, and if there's art is anything to go by, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. She's a very handsome woman.
She is,
Well,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You gotta
very
say one
handsome.
thing about Otari, a lot of strong, powerful women here. So we like that.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's true. and with the chastising of Kruka on the way out the door, you step outside, and as you do, heading towards the graveyard, the butler is now outside and standing there very like kind of properly, and just goes and then gestures upward with his eyes and head towards the cliff just above the Inkelholtz Manor, and you can see lights, torches heading down the road towards the graveyard, several in quite a hurry.
The flash mob.
2004 called.
Quick, let's do the Harlem Shake.
I'm more of a Bernie guy myself.
Oh god.
So they will head the other road, the lower way.
Okay.
Yeah. Point of order. Gilda's gonna wait until she hears that door lock behind them.
Oh yeah, the butler like hustles in, and like you all notice, and you look at him, and he gives you a nod, and he hustles in, and locked. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we just we hustle.
You guys gun it. You start gunning it towards the Dawnflower Library. You head to the base of the path, and for every time you have to go up one way and turn around back the other.
Tulog just popping off haste like nobody business.
I wish. I only have 2 third-level spells left, and I ain't wasting them on y'all.
even though it's faster, this back and forth weighs heavy on your head, on your minds, as if it's wasted time on traveled terrain, and it's exhausting going up and up and up, and the more up you go, the more you hear the sounds of combat and screams and howls, as if something really, really significant is happening above you.
Are we taking a penalty for that at all? Like, is there an exhausted thing?
Nope. No exhausted thing. It's more of like a time check, which we're not going to bother with, like hustling and all that. I think you're fine.
I mean, you know Gilda. Every day she hustling.
Yeah, every day she hustling. And you get to the peak of this path, and you step into the graveyard. The last time you were properly here, you fought the dead, the risen dead of Otari's ancestors.
Well, to be fair, that was only Tulok.
True. That's true. Only
Facts.
Tulok is having probably some mad flashbacks here. But I guess, Kruka and Lady Gale have heard the story. How unnerving that is to either of you is up to you.
Kruka got spooked out once, but it was just
Yeah.
it was an unrelated incident.
You step in and you see a smattering of dead wolves, dead guards, a few injured guards, slumped against different like tombstones, and what's the word I'm looking for? What's the ones with it's like a bigger
Mausoleum.
kind of mausoleum? Thank you.
Crypt.
Crypt, that works too.
They're different.
Yeah, but they both exist in this graveyard, so we'll go with either. Slumped against whatever sort of burial chamber or ceremonial plot you can think of, dead or alive,
like
and
a
barely
cairn,
functioning.
maybe?
And the thing you spot most as you turn to the left, which is to the southwest, is a slumped over long saddle against a tree, looking pretty worse for wear.
Oh shit.
A really, really
Uh-oh.
stressed out Gerald, trying his best to stop a Kilino Lathanar who is clad from head to toe in wolf pelts, like trying to march forward with this like ferocity, and this massive wolf with blue glowing eyes standing at the end of the graveyard. What do you do?
Tulok, I think, just takes off in that direction.
Okay.
Gilda will look towards Long Saddle.
Okay, and Krucka.
Krucka's gonna get mad first.
Okay,
and
everyone
then
gets 2
start
actions
poking
worth of
it.
movement. That's it.
Here we go.
Go where you would like to go, and we're gonna roll for initiative. As Gerald's like, Mr. Lathanar, just stop, just hold your ground. It's not worth it. I don't know why I made him Irish. He's supposed to be Southern. I got Tamley going, oh, Mr. Lathanar, that's not right. You can't do that. There we go. Got it. And Long Saddle's just like, ugh, just like fucking bleeding all over the place. And Keelino is just ready to gun it. We're going to roll for initiative. Krucka, what do you get, Krucka?
Wow.
Krucka is good at 30.
That's a natural 20, Krucka. Holy crap. Amazing. Lady Gilda?
Gilda would like to roll her athletics if the GM would allow it.
Yeah, with the hustle up the side of the cliff, I'll go for it.
That is also a natural 20.
Oh no!
Damn.
Okay. Amazing, Tulak.
17.
You got a whole pile of hero points there. You want to use them?
I'll use them when I want.
Okay. All right. Well, first up is Lady Gilda.
Gilda will move twice to be just behind Keelino and lay on hands.
You mean Long Saddle?
Long Saddle and lay on hands.
Nice.
For 18 back.
18 back. Okay. You hustle over 18 back to Long Saddle. You can tell that didn't do too much. He's a pretty hardy fella, but he's taken some hits. And in fact, as soon as you get there, you can tell right away that he is on death's door. He is the wounded 3 condition right now. Not looking good. He's gone down and up a few times in this whatever happened up here. Long Saddle looks at you, says, "Thank you, Lady Gilda. It's time we do what we can for this." And you feel bolstered from him. He's got an aura of command. And he like just turns his eyes towards this crazy looking wolf. And you automatically get, as long as you're within 30 feet. So I have that. Do you see it on the map? Nope. Now you do.
There we go.
You're in that area around Long Saddle. You have a +1 bonus to attack rolls and a status bonus to will saves.
Damn.
Wow. That's a huge fucking aura.
Yeah, it's big.
Man.
It's called Aura of Command. So bam, I'm going to just throw it on the appropriate people right now. Just throw it on all of you right now. And he just turns towards the wolf and says, "Very much I can do. So I will just stand here and I will guide this battle. You do what you have to."
Just stay alive, Long Saddle. Stay alive long enough to see us fail this thing.
And he calls it, he says, "Keelino, you behave yourself." And Keelino is basically going to try to step around Gerald. And Gerald is, I'm going to play loose with initiative here. And Gerald's just going to step right in front of him and be like, "Sir, I can't let you do it. I can't let you do it." He's like, "You get out of my way. You get out of my way, Gerald. Don't you do it." Krucka, what do you got?
Rules is written. That works because Gerald's a fighter and they have step up.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, he's got a very specific stat block,
Yeah.
but
Well,
he also has Gerald does have an air of authority aura. So he's like, you're gonna use that. Yeah. Listeners,
Not the way you play him.
you see the eyebrow I got from James on that.
Speaking of like playing to your alignment, talk about playing to
He does
your
not
character
believe
sheet.
me, no, Gerald, he's got an air of authority, which he's using trying to try and stop Keelino. It's only about 10-foot reach, but yeah. Krucka, you're up. What do you do?
Krucka would like to recall knowledge on this
Probably
wolf.
the best idea. Let's go with you can do
He's very
Arcana
smart.
or Nature. What would you Nature it is.
Nature.
This is known as the winter wolf. They're related to wargs, although definitely larger, smarter, and far more dangerous. They basically most often might be seen in servitude amongst orcs or hobgoblins, but only with the willingness of the winter wolf, as per usual. I would give you something here. Do you want something offensive, something defensive? What kind of information are you looking for mechanical advantage?
Like offensive. I want
Offensive,
something
okay.
offensive.
You know that this creature will, just like the other wargs, will attack with reckless abandon quickly against someone who has attacked their ally. Although you see none in sight, and then they definitely also have a breath weapon.
So Kraka's just gonna basically glaze over all that information you gave me, focus on the winter part, sudden charge up, and try to hit it with fire.
Amazing.
He's exactly 50 feet away, which is 2 movements
okay.
plus a swing. 35 to hit.
5 to hit is... Fuck, it's a crit.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
God damn.
It's a big day for crits. I love it. Sorry, I'm gonna cut that one too. Okay,
Oh.
42 damage.
Okay.
8 of them fire.
Big ol' hit of fire damage, and this and you can tell that this creature reacts very poorly to the fire. It's like just reels at the idea of fire coming at it. Was not happy with that. Okay, so that's a big ol' hit. That's 2 actions. What else you got?
That's 3. One for the recall knowledge.
Thank you. Next up, upon the back wall of the graveyard, this big claw hits the top and just pulls up, and this massive humanoid wolf climbs over the edge with this bird-like creature in its jaws, and it just hops down with a big thud onto the soft graveyard grass, and just drops this Tengu that can immediately be recognized as Magiloi, who is totally unconscious and ravaged. And this thing just guns it towards Gerald and takes a swing with its claws for a 24 to hit, which hits. Gerald taking 19 damage. And then it's the Winter Wolf, who, after taking a big hit from Kruka, takes a step, not a mechanical step away, but will very intelligently round about backwards.
And Kruka will no
it's
escape
going
after
to
him.
it's going to loop around this way, so you can kind of no escape if you have to. It's going to come around closer to the tree.
I don't know if I could no escape.
Yeah, it's not
from
really.
that.
It's not really. It's moving around you as opposed to away from you.
Yeah, it says keep pace with a retreating foe, and it's not really
So
retreating.
it
so
just kind of
stays
loops
adjacent
around
to me.
you, and then
I'm not
turns
good
its
now, I'm
breath towards Keelino and Gerald. And it shoots this breath weapon out in a 15-foot cone. They're going to do reflex saves, which Gerald fails pretty miserably. And Keelino is ready for.
I'll use my Retributive Strike and give Gerald DR 8.
Okay.
Protect
Okay,
Gerald
so
at all
Gerald
costs.
takes. How much do you reduce that by?
8.
All right, so he still takes a good hefty amount of damage. Is going to be 17 damage, and Kilino takes 12. And Kilino looks rough, even though he's like ready for it. He just dodges away, but he just gets blasted by this cold spell, and he's just like, oh, like you can tell he's out of his element. He was determined, and now he's like immediately second guessing what's happening. Tulok, what do you got?
I wish I was closer.
That's usually Lady Gilda's thing.
Yeah, Tulok is going to move directly to the west. He'll be north of Kalino and Gerald. And he's going to say... No, he's not going to say anything yet. He is just going to reach out and cast Telekinetic Projectile, sending a tombstone or a piece of it launched at this wolf that's attacking Gerald.
At the Winter Wolf? Okay.
No. Sorry.
At the werewolf.
The werewolf.
The humanoid
Do,
wolf.
yeah. Sorry. Do we know that it's Jawl, or we just see a wolf that's
You just see it. Yeah. You can have all the suspicions in the world, but you don't really know.
So he's just gonna send something flying at him, and that is going to be a.
Sorry, I accidentally deleted your roll.
You sure did. 22 to hit.
That is a miss.
I'm gonna re-roll that. 27 to hit.
That is a hit.
Hey,
For 12 points of damage.
Okay,
Brutal.
12 points come flying in. All right. And that brings us to the top of the round with Lady Gilda.
Gilda's first action will be to draw the cooperative blade.
Mm-hmm.
Second action will be to step in the worst possible place. Third action, as she's yelling at Gerald to protect Kilino, she will strike at the Winter Wolf.
Okay, the Winter Wolf.
34 to hit.
That's a hit.
Not a
nice.
8 points of slashing.
8 points.
Two
Slashing.
twos.
Yeah, buddy, I felt that.
Brutal. All right. That's you.
That's it.
Okay.
That's her.
Long Saddle's aura stands. Okay.
He's looking like a short saddle at this point.
Long Saddle, against his better judgment, comes off the tree and stumbles a little bit closer to Lady Gilda with his shield in one hand.
Oh boy.
Just holding it up, ready to defend himself. Just keep it up. They can't last forever. Not like we can. And Kilino is ready. He's not sure what to do. He's half covered in frost, and he steps away, and he bumps into Tulok almost. And he's just right. What? And he turns and he's suddenly for the first time in his panic sees the werewolf, and he just goes, no. And Gerald just runs over towards him and fucking tackles him to the ground, rolling an athletics to shove, dropping them both prone to stop him from gunning forward.
Kalino, get out of here. Gerald, take him now.
And Kalino's just let me have him, no. And Gerald's just wrestling him to the ground. Krucka, what do you got?
Let him. He is going to strike with the butchering axe at the Winter Wolf. 20 to hit. He is going to re-roll that.
That's a miss.
22 to hit. Jesus. Okay, he's gonna take his second strike at the werewolf, presumably known as Joel. Map -5, but a +1 because of the sweep.
That is
20.
going to miss, and the winter wolf takes an avenging bite as you attack its ally, and you are within reach, and it tries to hit you with its jaws. A 33 to hit. Crit.
That
you
is a
take
crit.
30 damage.
I will use my
Okay.
retributive strike.
Shit.
Okay.
Reduce that by 8, and this is a winter wolf. Is that
That's
right? Nope. That's an
That's a
18 to
miss.
hit.
Okay. Still, great combo as shit. Krakow, what else you got? Anything?
Well, being in a pretty disadvantageous position right now, he would like
Okay,
to take
probably
a
good
step
call.
southwest.
Next up is the werewolf, who is going to, despite its frenzy, respond to Kilino and his rant, and just sort of takes a step away from Lady Gilda and lunges with its jaws and picking up Kilino with its jaws and just like crunching down, and just this big wave of its head tossing him away from Gerald farther into the graveyard, and he is down. And the werewolf just lets out this big before swinging a claw at Lady Gilda for a 21 to hit.
Miss.
And next up is the winter wolf, who is going to also step away. As it does, it lunges out with its jaws. Oh no, wait! This one doesn't have. This guy doesn't actually have reach. Look at that. Is going to still step closer to the tree, get into a proper position here, and then attack Lady Gilda flanking. Jaws attack. Garbage. Jaws attack. 26. Said that weird.
26 is a hit. I blew my reaction.
Okay, so that's going to be 14 damage, some of which is cold damage. Next up is Tulak.
Okay. Tulok turns to what he perceives as Jal, and he says, "Why did you come back here? We left you alone in the abomination vaults. We could have killed you then, but we didn't. We left you to live in whatever type of life you had made for yourself there. But now you've come back to town and you've brought more evil upon this place than ever before. We will kill you here tonight in the graveyard, just like Kalino thought he killed you before. But tonight you will die and you will stay down." And that is going to be a 29 intimidation.
Are you going for a demoralize?
You got it, buddy.
Okay, this is against my will.
Mm-hmm.
That's success.
Nice.
Okay.
You have frightened this moon frenzied werewolf with that fucking rant. Oh my god.
And then Tulok is going to cast blindness.
Oh no, here we go.
So it's a DC 24 fortitude save.
19.
Yeah, baby!
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
How's
So
that moon
you
look
are
now?
blind for 1 minute, baby.
Holy fuck. Stemming the Tide is an actual play podcast of the Adventure Path Abomination Vaults and is produced by the Uncharted North Network. Stemming the Tide uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Inc., used under Paizo's community use policy. We are expressly prohibited from charging you to use or access this content. Stemming the Tide is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, visit paizo.com. Music is composed by Will Savino and artwork by Greyhood. Stemming the Tide is recorded remotely using Foundry Virtual Tabletop. If you wish to connect with us or support this project and projects to come, we can be found at unchartednorth.ca, patreon.com/unchartednorth, and on all major social media platforms. Links to all credits can be found in the episode description and our website. Thanks for tuning in.